Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are gonna be finishing off the narration and character voice acting for the side story Gavel the Great Chief Returns. But before we do so, considering this is the final part, several things will be part of this episode as per usual. The boss battle stage, all the enemy descriptions that I've skipped so far, at least the ones for the Acahualla and tribespeople, the final file that we will be including in this episode, which is the one for Tamimi, and yes, there are more characters in here that were present, like Kimar, aka Flint, but that will be probably for another video in the future. Today we'll be ending with Tamimi, and of course at the very end of the episode I'll be including my usual thoughts and just quick ramble about the story before we finish off. But that will be for later. First and foremost, before we begin, for anybody who has missed the previous episodes of this narration, playlist is in the description of the video at the very top. And if you finish this episode and you want to continue the narrative that was established here, the next stop would be the Ideal City side story, for which you can also find the playlist right under the one for Gavial, neatly numbered as 1 and 2, so you know the order, and you can continue the narration, or the narrative that begins here in that side story and see how that has evolved. That side story is a bit longer than this one when it comes to it as well, obviously. But anyway, enjoy, and of course, thank you very much for all the likes and the comments on the previous part. As always, all of that is helping a lot in the algorithm, so thank you very, very much. And yeah, for those of you who want to skip the rest of this intro and a quick recap, as always, in the pinned comment under the video you can find the different timestamps for the different parts of the video. But let us begin with on the previous part. Last time we began our story with Gavial waking up after being knocked out by the big ugly thing, or rather exploded to a knockout by the big ugly thing, rather, as the temple behind her and everything around is pretty bombed. She does wake up, she accepts her loss to the big ugly, and we continue on with the story, because as she is accepting her defeat and doesn't mind that she got beaten by something that is stronger than her, she does also hear that Zumama's tribespeople are apparently mining ore out of the old mine, but are also going deeper into the mine where you can find originium and get obviously infected by it. Upon hearing that, she is very displeased and wants to go and find Zumama and give her peace. Meanwhile, Tamimi goes away from the group for a while. She excuses herself essentially because she has something else to do. And the Doctor and Gavial pretty much continue on their trip. They do stop quickly in the tribe of Inam, who is renowned as a trader in these parts, considering that she gets her hands on goodies that are not from the jungle, and she pretty much brought the trade to her tribe, and we see that her tribespeople are very adept traders. She, after exchanging some words with the Doctor and Gavial, also hears from them that they are looking for other people who have gone missing in the jungle after the plane was crashing, and some of them jumped out of the plane before the crash. She does point out that one of them is in the jungle, or rather is in the marketplace in her tribe, which is Croissant, who is very busy bartering away without actually using any kind of words, just pointing and suggesting what she wants from the other person. And she's very adept at that. But she joins the group, and they were about to move on as they are resupplying in the in Inam's store, but they get interrupted because the tribe that they're another tribe is currently assaulting Inam's tribe, and that tribe is being led by none other than Utage. After defeating Utage and the tribespeople that were following her in the attack, we learned from her that she, after she landed in the jungle, couldn't find anybody outside Acahuallan people who kept attacking her, and she promptly defeating them. And as she at some point also defeated the tribe's leader of that same tribe that kept attacking her, pretty much the entire tribe fell under her wing, considering that they accept the leader to be the one who defeats their current leader. So she acquired an army essentially and decided to, it would be an interesting thing and funny thing to go around and smack other people with this little Zerg behind me. But anyway, she gets defeated and she joins back up with the group. In the meantime, pardon, at the tribe where Zumama is, we see the High Priest for the first time, and considering back when this story was releasing, the only other full-on animal-looking character in this game that we knew about was obviously our most beloved penguin, the Emperor. But now we get introduced to a tropical bird, a tropical little blue bird, but who is being referred to as the High Priest, who is very into mecha. But he is the one who introduced Zumama to a lot of things, and was helping her tinker around with machines. Zumama, in the meanwhile, also learns that Gavial is looking for her, and she sends Kimar to go and intercept Gavial. We see Kimar then promptly being lost even before she even leaves the Zumama's tribe, and then promptly being lost in the jungle as she is looking for Gavial. But she runs into none other than Blaze, who also jumped out of the plane and was searching for everybody else. The two of them make contact, and Kimar, feeling strength coming from Gavial, promptly attacks her, and the two of them have a little bout. But before we see the aftermath of the bout, we see a little conversation happening between an unseen main person who is addressing a lot of tribes people, and they're all pretty much concocting a plan to keep Gavial in the Acahualla jungle. We then switch back to our group as Blaze finally finds the rest of the group. As she finds the Doctor and the rest, she carries on her back an unconscious Kimar, who she, knocked the hell out after their battle. Kimar, after waking up and realizing what is happening, accepts her defeat, obviously, and shows a lot of respect towards Gavial, towards Blaze, and wants to accompany Blaze and learn more from her. Then we see a scene back at Tamimi's tribe as Dylan, who woke up from his unconscious self, is in a chat with Lancet 2, as the two of them have pretty much finished repairing the airplane and are now just waiting patiently on the engine, and at least Dylan is kinda bored. But they get joined by Inam, who was looking for them and is delivering a message. In the meantime, the Doctor and the rest of the group are enjoying the anime beach episode of their lives in the middle of the jungle. As they reach the waterfall and the big lake springing out from it that Gavial has been talking about for a time, all of them are pretty much enjoying a nice little moment of rest. As even Kyobi, who is still on the shrooms, crash lands in the middle of them, splashes around for a bit, and then bolts it out of there again. But that is where we left off. So then, let us hop back in and see where we continue today. And today we shall obviously continue on from stage number 7, titled First Come, First Served. There's nothing quite like taking an unexpected detour to reach the same destination. Let's begin. Another failure. He's playing in a nice art this time, though. Where did he land? No idea. Look, I'm running back after a while anyway. Let's keep going. Okay, where does this tube connect to? This looks like a good port. I'm plugging it in. Hey, is it working? No. Do you even know what you're doing? What are you yelling for? I've never seen an engine like this before. Just let me experiment a bit. I want to try. I think this tube goes here. What does this button do then? Who cares? Just press it. You're the one who's messing around. It obviously goes here. What are you two idiots doing? The gas pipe isn't even connected. Let me do it. What does the gas pipe go to? Never mind. This port looks bigger. This is probably it. Hey, somebody try to start it.
I'm back. Youngsters nowadays really have no respect for their elders. No one bothered to look for me after I got blasted away. But High Priest, you always come back safe. Everybody's getting used to it.
So wasting time. Let's get on with the testing.
Yeah, alright. Big Ugly, my child, it's time to wake up.
Oh, great chief, it's moving. This wonderful engine sound. I've never heard anything so amazing. Told you I'd get it done. How did you do it?
Just as you saw, great chief, it moved just like that.
They plugged this tube here and that one there. Just like how we built the Big Ugly. Good.
Ah, the Big Ugly. Once but a pile of scrap metal and now truly majestic. I'm so moved. It makes me want to sing.
But you're bad at singing.
I'm sorry. Fine. I think I have a real talent for singing though. Terrible. No. Maybe it's a style problem. Yes, that's right. That has to be the reason. Next time I'll try singing in bel canto.
Please don't. Great Chief, someone broke in. Is it Gavial? No, it's a weirdo carrying a pile of weapons. What? Zumama's tribe should be right ahead. Damn. Look what she's done to her own tribe. It looks pretty cool. It seems pretty lively inside. Huh? Why are they fighting? Damn reunion. You're trying to steal Kay's name now. That's something even more precious than honey biscuits. You'll pay for this.
Ah!
Where did this weirdo come from? She's too strong. I can't understand what she's saying. What the hell's a reunion? Isn't that Kay? Yes. It sounds like Kay's making a ruckus in there. Let's calm her down first. Go and get them, Kay. I can't believe reunion here is so tough. I won't lose to you. No silly girl. Wake up. Where am I? Oh, it's Gavial. Everyone else too. Good morning, Kay. Good morning, Doctor. Looks like she's back to her senses at least. Kay, do you remember how you got here? I forgot. Alright. Come and lie down, I'll check and see if there's anything wrong with you. Don't run off again. Okay. Where are we? We're... It's a long story. Just lie down already. Oh. Gavial, what the hell are you doing? That's a long story too. Just let me work. 10 minutes later. Alright, everything looks okay. Go and wave at the doctor and don't wander off. If you do it again, it's no more honey biscuits for you. Okay. Honey biscuits! Are you done? I'm done. So now, can you tell me what the hell are you doing, Gavial? I said it's a long story. Short version is, I'm here to look for you. You're not getting the engine back. That too, but there's another reason I'm looking for you. Another reason? Do you have your people mining ore? Yes. Gavial, I never took you for the sore loser type. Are you that broken up about being beaten up by the big ugly thing? No, your big ugly whatever is great. I'm totally fine with that. But if you're putting your people at risk of a ripathy infection for the sake of some ore, then as a doctor I have no choice but to stop you. Huh? A ripathy? Oh, you're talking about the stone disease. I'm not putting anyone at risk. Huh? I told them many times to stay away from the depths of the mine. But your people are getting infected. There's always someone who doesn't listen. I can't control them all. Isn't that right, Yogi?
Yes, my brother wanted to dig out more ore for the Great Chief, so he went deeper into the mine.
Huh? Why didn't you say so earlier?
You didn't ask.
That's pretty important!
Gabriel?
You told me they don't take oripathy seriously here. Fine. Also... Hey, why are you taking your clothes off? Huh? Your body. I've been running around the mine ever since I was a kid. It's only natural I would get the stone disease. I dare say no one knows better than me where the diseased rocks are. Alright then. My mistake. Sorry for accusing you, Zumama. It's fine. That's all it took. We're all good now. Isn't everybody supposed to stubbornly stick to their guns until we all end up in one big honking battle? Yeah, shouldn't hope for stuff like that.
Gavial isn't like that.
Now let's talk about the other thing. You have our engine, don't you? Yes. Can you return that to us? We can't leave without it. No. If you want to leave, I can have someone escort you. No good. kal'tsit will get mad. You want to hand it over no matter what? No matter what. Oh, looks like we're gonna fight after all. Looks like it. That was the plan from the very beginning. Oh, are we fighting that? Fun!
Hello, nice to meet you.
High Priest, why did you bring the big ugly out?
Huh? Aren't we going to fight Gavial? Do we not need it? If not, I'll drive it back. I still want to test the engine.
We need it, but not now. I still have something to say.
Oh, alright. You have your talk first then. Call me when you want to fight.
Sure. Hey, what was that about an engine? That's right, your engine is powering the big ugly right now. If you want it, you'll have to fight for it.
Deal!
Come with me. We'll see who comes out on top.
And we continue on to stage number 8, titled Gavial's Fist, the Mightiest Clash. Let's begin.
The buildings here are so different from the other tribes. Crappy houses. The architecture and decor are all pretty crude. Got a lot of weird broken gizmos all over the place too. Zumama, you've got a very unique tribe here. Looks like they enjoy fiddling around with machines just as much as you do. This is my people's masterpiece. Yes, they now know the charm of the machines, and they have built the tribe you see here on their passion alone.
Look, it's Gavial.
The Great Chief wasn't lying. She's planning to duel Gavial again with the Big Ugly.
What? No way I can miss that. Wow, there's so many people. Many of them are from other tribes who've come here after the ceremony. They will be joining us. So, what did you want to say? Gavel, If you just left without a fuss, I wouldn't have cared. But since you're standing before me once again, I will defeat you right here and now.
Why?
Because you're too strong, Gavial. Do you still remember that day?
That day?
Before that day, I was just like you. I believed the strength in my fists was everything.
Flashback.
Ha!
Huh?
Gavial wins.
Haha, I win again.
Another rematch. I'll definitely win this time.
Sure.
Why is the ground shaking?
Look, over there.
What's that?
It's a big hunk of metal.
That is a Sargon nomadic city.
What's a Sargon?
Sargon is our country.
Then what's a nomadic city?
A nomadic city is a very large tribe with many people living in it. I visited once when I was young. Don't be afraid, it won't come over here. It will never have anything to do with us.
Zumama, what is it? Are you feeling sick?
No, I'm going home.
Oh, I remember. A Sargon nomadic city was passing pretty close to us that day. You turned all weird after that.
I think you're the weird one, Gavial. How could you not feel astonished after seeing something like that? How could you not be shocked? How could you not feel like a tiny speck of dust?
Now, not to detract too much from the story right now, but to bring in closer what she means by that, I would recommend to look up what the overview effect is. Just Google overview effect and space, Earth, astronauts, and it's pretty close to what she's describing and how she probably felt at that very moment. Look it up. It's very interesting to read. Anyway.
I mean, I guess I felt something like, wow, that's big. What's a big thing got to do with me?
That's our Gavial. But that's the day I lost interest in fighting with you. I asked Gnam to help me find books on machinery and began studying Sargonian and mechanical engineering. Then I met the High Priest and we began building the big ugly thing together.
I know, I did go to look for you after all. Does it mean that the weirdo over there is your invisible friend?
That's right!
Whoa, when did you get here?
This feller's got the same energy as my boss, the Emperor.
Emperor? Are you talking about the penguin?
Sure am. Hold on a minute, you know the boss?
Of course I do. It's been a couple of decades since we last met. Was it a few decades or a few centuries? Doesn't matter. I can smell him on you.
What's that about a few centuries?
Lordy Lou, who'd have thunk I'd meet a friend of the boss out here? So you really do exist. I always thought Zumama got messed up in the head and hallucinated you. I was even researching similar cases at Rhode Island.
Oh, don't you know, Gavial? Whenever you came to look for Zumama, I was always there, watching. Just like this.
He disappeared.
I wouldn't normally show myself to you, but since I want to pilot the big ugly, I have no choice. Building machines with the little ones is actually a lot of fun.
Speaking of the big ugly, shouldn't somebody be driving it? 'Cause I'm pretty sure it's about to crash into that house.
Huh? Oh, crap! Gotta go!
Oh, he popped back into the thing quick. Badass.
He and the boss really are birds of a feather, huh?
Oh, right, our conversation. Zumama, let's get to the point. If we're gonna fight anyway, do we really have to talk about all this stuff? Yes. I have things to say to you, and to myself. Do you know, Gavial? You were always my biggest obstacle. Huh, really? Well, not just you, but people like you. I've tried so many times to teach people about the charm of the machines, but in the end, they're never interested. Because they look up to strong people like you. You teach them that, in this place, you get what you want when you're strong. It's your strength that stands in the way of progress. So I decided to change the way they think. I'm going to use an even greater power to destroy this blind worship of strength that you created. Well, that makes sense to me. What do you think, Doctor? Indeed. Doctor, whose side are you on? Honestly, I'm almost convinced myself. But I never wanted to be anyone's role model. When I say fists solve problems, that's just me talking. It's got nothing to do with anyone else. I know. I'm not blaming you. Even so, Gavel, I want to defeat you with the power of the Big Ugly. Everyone, listen up. The Big Ugly will be dueling Gavel once again. This battle will decide who is the real Great Chief. High Priest, it's time to fight.
You got it!
Are you ready, Gavial? Your friends can join the fight too.
Finally! Step back, everybody. This one's mine. Come at me! Let's test his performance first. Fire! Ha! Don't think you'll hit me a second time. Ah, those are the reflexes expected from Gavial. No problem. Have a taste of my great iron fist. A test of strength, huh? Sounds good to me.
Wow, Gavial's strong. Crazy strong. She stopped its fist all by lonesome. I know I asked way back when I got my first physical, but why is she a medic again?
You may be my opponent, but I can't help but cheer for you. It's not over yet, though. The Big Ugly has a max performance mode for just such an occasion. Go!
What? That Big Ugly guy looks stronger. And it's suppressing Gavial's strength?
Oh, what a melodious sound! Hmm? Wait, these readings are strange. What?
High Priest, what's going on?
My butt's being cooked!
I'm talking about the Big Ugly.
Oh, I was just sharing my status as well. I think the engine output is too high. I'm losing control of the Big Ugly. It's actually quite exhilarating.
Get out of there.
Are we fighting? Let's just fight like this. Come, Gavial. I'll finish this once and for all.
High Priest.
Oh, fine. What a shame. Looks like I'll have to change tactics. Zumama, don't worry about me. I'll do my best to stabilize it. You'll find a way to stop the Big Ugly in the meantime.
Gavial, you and your people get out of here. This isn't your business.
What are you talking about? Don't you want to beat me?
I do, but not like this.
Come on. Of course I'm going to help. Right, Doctor?
Fight the monster. I'll help.
Tage, Croissant, prepare for battle.
You want me to fight that big guy? Really? What a pain.
I'm getting overtime for this, boss. Triple rate.
Alright, and this is where we're gonna obviously go into the boss battle stage, because this is where we have the boss battle in this side story. Stage number 9 is something extra. But before we do so, like I said before, we are gonna introduce all our enemies, including the boss of course, and we're also gonna introduce all of their elite versions that are available in the EX stages. So let's rattle them off, do the boss battle stage, and continue on with the story. So, first and foremost, here we have the Tiakau Warrior.
One of Acahualla's most commonly seen warriors who uses a crude spear to attack, may pose unexpected difficulties if fighting at close range. Then we have the Tiakau Impaler, not much different from a regular warrior except they've learned to throw their spears. Though their range is limited, they get the job done. Then we have the Tiakau Fanatic, a fervent Tiakau warrior with very fast attack speed. Though each strike is not particularly powerful, those caught off guard will be quickly subdued by a rain of blows. Then we have the Tiakau Ritualist. The very few Originium Arts users in Acahualla will often serve as doctors for their tribe. Despite not developing their Originium Arts, their medical experience lets them strike where it hurts. Then we have the Tiakau Brave, a very formidable Tiakau warrior naturally born to do battle. These warriors harbor great pride in their combat abilities and live for the thrill of the duel no matter where they are. Their single-mindedness allows them to shrug off all outside interference. There is one more that can be found here on stage number 6, which is the Tiakau Shredder, one of Zumama's chosen elites, bestowed with excellent equipment. In addition to being potent in combat, they have the ability to destroy terrain in order to seize the advantage. Those who seek to use long-range attacks against them will have to diversify their tactics. Then we switch quickly over to the EX stages, and here on EX stage number 8 we can find pretty much all of them in their elite forms. Beginning with the Tiakau Guard, a braver, fiercer warrior who uses a crude spear to attack. Years of training have given these warriors tough physiques, and they fear not even the fiercest attacks. Then we have the Tiakau Impaler Adept, warriors who have gained greater proficiency in using thrown weapons due to training and boast greater lethality. However, due to their weight of their weapons, their range hasn't really improved. Then we have the Tiakau Ripper, an extremely fervent Tiakau warrior with very fast attack speed. Each strike now deals noteworthy damage, and those caught off guard will be quickly subdued by a rain of blows. Then we have the Tiakau Shaman. These extremely rare arts users from Acahualla have a deeper understanding of Originium arts. With more threatening arts in their arsenal and years of medical experience, they are a force to be reckoned with, if allowed to approach up close. Then we have the Tiakau Annihilator, one of Zumama's chosen elites bestowed with superlative equipment. In addition to being potent in combat, they have the ability to destroy terrain in order to seize the advantage. Those who seek to use long-range attacks against them will have to diversify their attacks. And we have the Tiakau Champion, an incredibly formidable Tiakau warrior with the qualifications to become a war chief. These warriors harbor great pride in their combat abilities and live for the thrill of the duel no matter where they are. Their single-mindedness allows them to shrug off all outside interference. And now returning back to our stages here on the main story part. The boss, the big ugly thing. Zumama's magnum opus, a massive mechanical monster piloted by the High Priest. He can strike both in melee range and from a distance, capable of easily destroying giant mushrooms and stumps. Normal engineers cannot even fathom how a machine slapped together haphazardly like this can even move. But move it indeed does. Alright, so then, we're gonna go into the boss battle stage, and we're pretty much gonna have all the available, story characters here, including Lancet, of course. Texas obviously is not part of the group here, but I needed a DP printer, so she's gonna accompany us. Sadly, there are no reserve operators like the default ones, otherwise I would have used them to, you know, be Dylan in the story essentially, but sadly those are kind of only available in the IS modes. But anyway, let us begin.
Doctor も行くのか? Doctor. 切りつく。私に合わせる者がいれば効率が上がる。 り尽くす。行ってきまーす。一勝負行こう。かしこまりました。私を見下ろすな。治療の準備だ。切り尽くす。ほらちょっと。殴られたいやつ。私を見下ろすな。鮮血が武器をする。戦場を沸き立たせる。しっかりしろ。ちょうどいい。この拳はどうだ。私の力も弱くはない。ちょうどいい。もう少し頑張ろう。その泣き顔結構可愛いじゃない。誰にも縛られるつもりはない。行ってきまーす。あとはタイツだ。
Mission accomplished.
やった任務完了や。
Alright then. That completed. We shall now continue on with our story. So, let's continue with the after part.
Hold on, I should do a different cry next time. I'm getting rather tired of this one.
Hey, is he alright? No need to worry, he'll be back in a minute. Okay. Is he like a person? I've never heard of anyone like him before. No idea. The High Priest only told me he's lived here for a very long time. Alright then, what else can we say? He's really something. Gavel, your head is bleeding. Are you okay? It's fine, just a scratch. Tamimi, bring him a medical bag here. Where did Tamimi go? Here's your bag. And Tamimi, I think I saw her running off somewhere right before we won the fight. Thanks. She didn't get scared, did she? Anyway, let's patch ourselves up first. You go check if anyone's injured, and bring them to me if they are. I'll take care of them. Leave it to me. No problem. What a pain. Fine. Quit your belly aching. Doctor? The big ugly... Sorry, Zumama. We had to take it apart. I know. I checked your engine. I think it's working fine. You can have it back. Oh yeah? That's great. You really won't stay, Gavial? Yeah, just like you, I found my calling. To be a doctor. That's it. Is doctoring fun? Is building machines fun? It is. Same here. But you still have to be the great chief. Huh? Any way you slice it, you beat the big ugly thing. You won, Gavial. Look, everyone's here again. They're looking to you. Doctor, what do we do? Well, all hail Great Chief Gavial. Doctor, I really want to punch you right now. Gavial, are you hurt? I'm fine. Where did you run off to? Huh? Oh, Dad, I had to go pee. Okay. What's wrong, Gavial? Why are you looking at me like that? I've got it. Everyone, listen up. I beat the big ugly, so I'm going to be the Great Chief. And so, my message to you is... your fists are everything. Gavial, are you staying here to be the Great Chief? But... I have something very important I must do, so I have to leave. Very not though. When I'm gone, Tamimi will give orders on my behalf. Just treat Tamimi as you would treat me. What? Is that really gonna fly? Don't these people worship strength over everything? Gavial is the Great Chief after all. She defeated everyone, so her word is law. Zumama, machines are pretty cool, but I think I'll stick with my fists after all. Don't forget, I still don't recognize you. I'll build an even greater machine and challenge you again. Sure, I'll be waiting. Oh, right, before that, you need to come with me for a bit. Why? You need to come with me to Rhodes Island to get an neuropathy checkup. Can I refuse? I still have to work on the big ugly. You don't have a choice this time. Besides, until Tamimi takes over, I'm still the Great Chief. I'll bring you back even if I have to kidnap you. Fine. Gavial, are you going to leave after all? Yep, I'll probably be leaving right as soon as we get the engine back in the aircraft. No. I won't let you leave.
Alright, and we shall continue on to our final stage, which is titled Out of the Jungle. A new life awaits them. So, let's begin.
Tamimi, are you okay? I won't let you leave. Huh? Why? Because I don't want to be without you again. Huh? I wanted to become the Great Chief so I could force you to stay. Does that mean you're the one who organized the ceremony this time? Yes. If you didn't show up in the middle of it, I'd have become the Great Chief. I see. Huh? What are you guys talking about?
It was very odd to have the ceremony at all.
What are you talking about, Doctor? What's that about the ceremony? You're pretty smart, outsider. Just think about it for a minute, Gavial. Ever since you left, most of the tribes dissolved into the many smaller tribes we know today. Without a central leader, the tribes couldn't come together to do anything at all. So how could we suddenly put on a ceremony? There had to be someone organizing things behind the scenes.
Wasn't it you who organized the ceremony?
It wasn't me. The big ugly still needed an engine. It wasn't done. I was planning to wait another year before contacting the other tribes to hold the ceremony. But then all of a sudden, it was happening. It was unexpected, but I didn't mind. I thought that even an incomplete big ugly could have shocked the world. The unexpected part was you coming back. Now that you mention it, Tamimi was the one who asked me to return. So you really did orchestrate everything? Yes. I've been studying for years to learn what I would need to convince the other tribes to make me the Great Chief. But It's not too late. The tribes under my command are waiting out there, and the big ugly has been defeated. No one can stop me from making Gavial stay. Why do you want me to stay? Why do you want me here so badly? Because... Flashback. Where am I? I want to go home. Ah! Hey, Tamimi, are you okay? Gavial... You're such a pain. I let you out of my sight for 1 second and you run off to a place like this. Gavial, you're bleeding! Huh? It's fine, just a little cut. Come on, let's go home. Gavial saved my life. I love her more than anyone. And Gavial is the strongest. As long as Gavial is our great chief, she can lead everyone. Here I was thinking that you're all grown up now, but you haven't changed a bit. I've got important work to do, Tamimi. You can't stop me. The book said, if I can't capture his heart, then I'll keep him close to me. The books also said, as long as he is by my side, it doesn't matter if he hates me. So, even if you hate me, Gavial, I still want you here. Phew. She's been slurping down trashy romance novels with a straw. Now the big ugly is down, and you're exhausted. You can't beat me. If you surrender, I won't hurt you. You can't keep me here, Tamimi. That's not up to you. Everyone, attack! It's over, Tamimi. No, it's not. Norul, Pita. Doctor? Doctor. If you don't want your friends getting hurt... Don't make me angry, Tamimi. I won't stop until you promise you'll stay, Gavial. Help me, Doctor. Doctor, I'm scared. Don't be scared. I'm going to save you. Doctor. Lanza too. Doctor. Wow, you two are really selling it. What? When did you get free? Sorry. Somebody needs to learn to tie a knot. Did you know Tamimi was going to do this, Doctor? Of course. But how did you know? Well, first of all, there was the way you hesitated when Zumama came up. Oh, hesitated? And then when you panicked at Gavel during the ceremony. And finally, Dylan, the thing. Oh, I gave it to Lanza too. That was just for you, Doctor. I don't normally let people put things inside of me so easily. Lancet? Phrasing? It's a rocket launcher? Yep, found it with Tamimi's tribe. So that means... You got it. The one who shot us down was this little runt right here. Tamimi? I'm sorry, Gavial. Come here. You're going over my knee. Gavial, please don't spank me. I know what I did was bad. Them's the breaks. Naughty little whelps get tail spankings. Tail spanking, huh? Looks ouchy. Are you going to do it again? I won't do it again. Good. Anyway, I think we're pretty much okay now, Doctor. I'm surprised you didn't give her the whatever whirlwind thing. I wouldn't want to hurt little Tamimi after all. Yeah, I'm a little tired myself. What do you mean you won't hurt her? What was that about me earlier as well? What? This big guy does look a little ugly at first, but the angular, rugged design, this cluttered but effective wiring, it has a special beauty to it when you look close. Real marriage material, I think. Oh, Lancer 2, go see if we can still salvage the engine. What? Are you telling me the engine's inside this big guy? Sure is, and we blew it up. Oh, poor engine. Poor big guy. Mr. Dillon, can you do me a favor?
Alright.
Hey, Zumama, why are you standing there drooling like that? Gavel.
Huh? What's up?
That
What?
That moving talking machine is incredible.
Oh, you mean Lancer too? She's a friend of ours.
Can I talk to her?
Knock yourself out.
Hello? Hi? Are you a machine? My product designation is Raytheon Existers S62 Model 6 Wheeled Operation Platform. I belong to Rhodes Island, codename Lancer 2. Wow. Yes, I do have a certain level of intelligence. As long as your questions aren't too hard, I should be able to answer them. Speaking of which, I am a medical operation platform, so my knowledge base is focused on medicine. Do keep that in mind.
Unintelligible, undecipherable excitement is what I will title this.
Is something wrong? Can I hug you? What? What is she doing? Did a screw come loose?
Isn't it obvious? She's in awe of that machine.
Oh?
Shocked as she was when she first saw a moving city, a machine that moves and talks on its own is even more striking. And forget her, I'm just as excited. Oh, my beautiful young lady, might I have the honor of taking you on a date? I know the most gorgeous spot in the rainforest. I'll take you there for a lovely afternoon. For those of you who have finished and did the Lone Trail story, this makes more sense now, right? And back then, it's still funny, haha. It's still a very funny haha moment. But now, it makes more sense. I'm not gonna say what it is for people who haven't read or gone through Lone Trail. Do it. You can do it very easily on the channel here. This here funny haha thing will make much more sense once you're done. Anyway.
Oh, you're asking me out? I don't know what to do here. I'm flattered. Doctor, should I accept?
I'll never let you take my Lancer too.
Oh, Doctor, to hear you suddenly come out and say that, my heart isn't ready. So, Gavial, your people you're with now can create this type of machine?
Huh? I'm pretty sure Closure can, yeah.
Okay, I've made a decision. Does this Rhode Island place need more hands? I want to join.
Oh?
I want to go with you to learn about mechanical technology.
Huh.
I've thought about leaving to go study in the outside world before, but I never seriously considered it because of the tribe. I think this is a great opportunity.
Then I'm going too.
What?
If this is how...
Sorry.
If this is how it's going to be, then it's time for plan B. I'm going with Gavial. Gavial, I fight really hard. I can definitely help you, Gavial.
Doctor,
what should I do here?
they can come, but I don't know what might happen.
Yeah, might as well give them the operator's test.
Whatever.
At least stick with the doctor and try to learn something.
Right.
Hey, Gavial, do me a favor and tell me what this little squirt is saying?
Huh? Kimar?
I have to go with her. She says she's going with you. Oh, cool. She packs a punch. I bet she'll make a fine operator. She said okay. Good. Wait a second. So Zumama's going, Tamimi's going, and Kimar's going. What about the tribes? You weren't worried about that when you left the first time. I was seeing red back then. Couldn't think at all. You're right though. I can't just abandon my tribe.
Oh, I think you've got nothing to worry about in that department.
It's not Gavial, but the big ugly is pretty strong. That's for sure. I want to make one too.
With the temple destroyed, let's build machines instead. Whoever makes the most awesome one gets to be Great Chief.
Hey, no, fighting is way better.
Oh, good point. I don't want to give up fighting. What should we do?
Alright, morons. Why not just fight and also build machines? Collectively, yeah.
See? Nothing to worry about at all. From what I've seen, the common folk are usually quick to adapt, even as the leaders hem and haw about the future. But if I told you the first great chief was actually a Tiakau brave who gave himself the title, prior to whom there was no custom to choose a great chief at all.
The High Priest, why did you never tell me that before?
Oh, I never thought it was important. Is it? My point is that people are resilient. They'll go on living even if one of their traditions disappears. I've always thought of traditions as rituals that bring people together. But when the tradition carries on for a few decades, they start to think it's inviolable, it's unbreakable. It has to go on forever. But that's nonsense. So you tell me you want to blow up the temple and I'm all in. Both hands, both feet, and my tail too. Oh, no, if my hands and feet are in, my tail has to stay out, right? Right? But if I'm laying down, let's see.
I get it.
Just how old are you? How old? I forget. And honestly, these methods you keep for keeping track of time mean nothing to me. Whether or not I happen to have forgotten when I was born.
Again, a sentence that makes way more sense now.
Okay, but we still need someone to be the Great Chief. Hey, I heard Gavel and Zumama were fighting again. Is it already over? Why are you looking at me like that, Gavel?
Say, Nam, are you interested in being Great Chief at all?
What?
Sometime later, on Rhode Island.
So, after going through all that, you got the engine back, performed your emergency repairs, and got on the road back home? Yeah. Doctor, I do believe I told you what a precious piece of equipment that aircraft was before you left.
There were extenuating circumstances.
Seeing as the aircraft is still in repairable condition, I won't be too hard on you, but the maintenance costs are coming out of your pay and Blaze's. Oh, mine too. An elite operator takes elite responsibility.
Sorry, that is a sentence, I love it. That is so jokily kal'tsit that it hurts. Again, if that is taking place when I think it's taking place, then it makes way more sense. Anyway.
Fine. As for the 3 individuals you brought back, since you seem to think they have what it takes to be operators, I'll leave them to the doctor. Gavial, were you satisfied with your trip back home?
Huh? Sure, but even I didn't think it'd go down like that. It was fun.
Honestly, I had a contingency plan in case the doctor didn't bring you back.
Why?
Because I figured there was a possibility you'd want to stay there.
Huh. kal'tsit, I thought you knew me better than that.
You've never really adopted to life outside your tribe. Every day you come into conflict with the world, in your own voracious way. I'll put it this way. If someday you asked for a leave of absence, or if you just left, I wouldn't be surprised. Hey, Doctor, maybe I'm not getting this right. Is kal'tsit saying she cares about me? Yes. If there is nothing else, Doctor, you can go. kal'tsit, I'm not going anywhere. I had a reason to leave my tribe. I really did want to practice medicine. Now, that's not to say I really thought I could become a doctor, but I'm very happy I made that decision. From a modern medical standpoint, we pretty much have no doctors back home. If you get sick, you just let it run its course. Maybe try a few traditional remedies. If I never left, I wouldn't know what the world is really like. I wouldn't know how many diseases are preventable or curable. I wouldn't know how people look down on Ripathy. I wouldn't know that saving lives makes me as happy as taking them. The world is definitely complicated, and I don't always know what motivates people or why they fight. But I'm a doctor now, and my dream is to treat Ripathy. Is there a better place in this world for me to study and practice medicine? I'm afraid not. Well, how about that? And by the way, you all work a lot harder than I do. What's with you here worrying about me? Honestly, I think I should be worrying about you, kal'tsit. You didn't pick up my slack while I was away now, did you? No. Good. I'm gonna give Zumama an Ripathy checkup. You have a nice chat now. Oh, I'll see what Kimar's up to. I guess I'm calling her Flint now. I'm worried she'll get into a fight with the language barrier and all. Doctor, Tamimi should be in her general studies class now. You check on her when you're done. Gavel? Welcome back. Hey, what about me? You had another mission ready to go last week. You're technically very late. Oh. In your eyes, you just went on a nonsensical journey. But, just like our Gavial, it was a showcase of the lively and diverse world we inhabit. We lose so much to the endless march of time. That which was once a fact of life in the past is now precious to us. We search for the light that slips through the breaks in the crowd and begin to see that as the norm. I hope you and your fellow operators learned a lesson from this trip. Some things are not too far out of reach. kal'tsit, meeting time! I know. Now then, Doctor, you have a lot of work waiting for you. I hope you get enough rest on your vacation.
Alright, and we have one more stop before we go into the closing thoughts section, which is obviously Tamimi's full file and voice files. So, let's hop on over to those and go through them. Alright then, and now let's begin with Tamimi's full file. So, basic info. Codename Tamimi, gender female, combat experience none, place of birth Sargon, date of birth February 2nd, race Archosaurus, height 142 centimeters, infection status, medical tests have confirmed that no infection is present. Physical exam, physical strength, excellent mobility, normal, physical resilience standard, technical acumen standard, combat skills standard, and Originium arts assimilation standard. Profile, Tamimi, an Archosaurus from the Acahualla region of Sargon, is a friend and supporter to Gavial. She tried all sorts of radical ways to prevent Gavial from returning to Rhodes Island, but upon her failure instead accompanied Gavial back to Rhodes Island. She assumes the responsibilities of a caster but often forgets that she is a caster. Nevertheless, given her excellent performance on the battlefield, there are no plans to have her switch operator roles. Clinical analysis. Imaging tests reveal clear normal outlines of internal organs and no abnormal shadows have been detected. Originium granules have not been detected in the circulatory system and there is no sign of infection. At this time, this operator is believed to be uninfected. Cell Originium assimilation 0%. This one's the exact same as before, pure and unblemished.
Blood originium crystal density 0.14 units per liter. Is she actually listening to me when I say she needs to exercise? Not bad. I pretty much already know everything about Tamimi, though this would be the first time I gave her a physical exam. Signed by Gavial. The physical exam went smoothly, but her heartbeat was abnormally fast, and that confounded the data. Also signed by Gavial. Archive file number 1. After Gavial saw through her trick and punished her, Tamimi decided to follow Gavial to Rhodes Island and become an operator. Tamimi has little knowledge of her life outside her tribe. Her impressions of the outside world come entirely from her conversation with Inam and from the books that were commissioned. When she first came to Rhodes Island, she was the same as 2 other operators, making a variety of common sense blunders during her trial and error phase. However, she quickly completed her transition thanks to her adaptability, and transformed from the leader of a small tribe on the border of Sargon into a caster operator with a unique personal flair. When Tamimi first applied to become an operator, some of the other operators in charge of the testing process initially were opposed to letting her become a caster. In the eyes of casters who have been trained under the theoretical framework of modern Originium arts, Tamimi's use of Originium arts is brutish and backwards. Particularly her preference towards melee combat, which runs contrary to what is typically required of casters. When the testers gathered around to discuss their opinions, one interesting question was front and foremost. What's the difference between her and Gavial? Gavial wouldn't actually force people. I think that's only because she's too busy. But ultimately, they decided to let Tamimi become a caster, and in terms of her training policy, they did not ask her to conform to the standards of modern casters and instead allowed her to implement her own fighting style. The reason is, after observing Tamimi's fighting style, they determined that there was some value in studying it. Injecting your own arts into a wand in order to fill it with lethal power is, from a certain perspective, a utterly fanciful notion. Casters themselves tend to be intellectually curious people as well. After acknowledging Tamimi's combat abilities, a small group of casters adopted the belief that casters ought to be physically strong. They even began to hope that a new school of Originium arts would form through Tamimi's growth. Of course, even if this was to succeed, that'll be sometime in the future. Archive file number 2. When talking to Tamimi, there is always one topic that cannot be avoided: Gavial. As soon as this name is mentioned, the normally taciturn Tamimi will instantly open her inner chatterbox, praising Gavial's goodness as if her life depended on it. This degree of enthusiasm may be a match for that of the fans stuck outside the gates of Monster Siren Records HQ waiting for a chance to meet their idols. If you put yourself in her shoes though, Tamimi becoming like this may have been inevitable. Pretend that there is a beautiful young girl. Outside, she is the queen of the playground, and not even the adults can handle her. Everyone wants to be her friend, but she's always at your doorstep, sharing meals with you and asking you to play, showering you with her geniality and grace. What kind of person wouldn't be moved? Furthermore, this wonderful young girl was stabbed by Originium in the mines in order to protect Tamimi, and ended up contracting neuropathy because of it. Even the best-selling authors of Columbia dare not write such heart-wrenching passages lightly, but this is not a work of fiction. It is Tamimi's truth, and that is why she is so devoted to Gavial. After that, Tamimi dedicated herself to attending Gavial, though the latter mistook this as exclusion. After violently beating down all challengers at the Mahuitsotia, Gavial left the tribe. As for what happened afterwards, please refer to the reports from relevant individuals following Gavial's return from her hometown in Sargon. According to the report summary, the reason why Tamimi thought of using a rocket launcher to shoot down the Doctor's aircraft may simply have been because she hadn't seen Gavial in a long time. Nothing more. Tamimi has not pulled any crazy stunts like this since coming to Rhodes Island with Gavial. My word, is there really no need to publish a book on Tamimi's antics? A movie would do fine. They'd be smash hits for sure. Keep going on about that if you want Gavial to smack you. Don't worry, the relevant parties are a bit slow. In that case, I'll be counting on you for the script for the annual festival. Change things up a little bit though. We'll get beaten up if they recognize themselves. You got it. Just leave it to me. Just very quickly, this last paragraph, well, considering that a movie script is being, you know, concocted here, definitely one of the two talking here has to be Neon. The other one, I guess, could be Lava, considering that the two of them made movies together before, maybe. But anyway, food for thought. Archive file number 3. After returning to Rhodes Island, the Doctor asked Tamimi how she came up with all those terrible ideas. After waffling around for quite some time, Tamimi brought out a number of books that had titles such as these. Only One Step Until the New You. You're a Winner. Learn Business Management in 100 Days. Then she took out a list of books that often appear on the bestsellers lists of bookstores, mostly related to fashions, self-help, and management. Without a doubt, the contents of these books gave Tamimi some dubious directions when it came to her understanding of the real world. For example, she really tried to apply this corporate management system to the members of the Gavilsville tribe, demanding that everyone wear a uniform, shout slogans, and fight like a lupo. Note that she had no idea what a lupo was prior to joining Rhodes Island. Though the tribe had no complaints due to Tamimi's abilities, after she left, everyone in the tribe quickly lapsed into their old, comfortable ways. With this in mind, the rocket launcher incident was probably inspired by one of these books. Fortunately, Tamimi was able to pick up a number of practical life skills. She is already familiar with storing items in a limited space, an ability that has earned her the praise of the dorm staff. In addition, she is proficient in the use of expedition tools, able to explore the wilds without assistance. Nor will she ever again make the mistake of getting trapped in a mine by accident and putting herself in danger. However, Rhodes Island is different from the hometown of her Acahualla tribe. Gone is the near infinite space she had back there to store her various collectibles. Under Gavial's persuasion, she has begun to screen her treasures, keeping only the most valuable things in a backpack that she carries on her person. All things considered, one cannot say that Tamimi is unintelligent, but rather all her energy goes into the wrong areas. Archive file number 4. Tamimi's tail grew again. By itself, this is not a bad thing, as the Archosaurus people are proud of having large tails. But Tamimi's tail doesn't only grow longer, it also grows thicker. As for the proper ideal of what a tail should be like, the Archosaurus themselves have not reached a consensus. The dispute between thick tails and fine tails still continues to this day. Tamimi isn't invested in this issue and is perfectly fine with whatever size or length tail she may have, and Gavel is also in agreement. Nevertheless, her tail is a bit heavy and sometimes causes inconveniences in day-to-day life. Upon the doctor's recommendation, Tamimi finally decided to use a tail clamp made especially for Archosaurus use. People often hear Tamimi's lamenting, "When I was little, my tail was the same thickness as Gavial's. Why did it end up growing so much more?" Tamimi couldn't decide whether to keep her tail as it is or to grit her teeth and trim down on it. On one hand, a thick tail is quite popular and can even bring some unexpected benefits on the battlefield. As a bonus, Gavial likes to squeeze it. On the other hand, this tail sometimes poses inconveniences to others, and it may be difficult to find good-looking outfits that can accommodate such a large tail. As a result, this question had been bothering Tamimi for a long time. She needed someone to help her make the decision and implement her choice. Who do you think that person was? And finally, promotion record. A partial list of items in the backpack Tamimi made for herself. A piece of amber wrapped in leaves. A neat thing I found on my first expedition. Holding it right now makes me happy. A fried clay wad, slightly deformed. The first time Gavial and I tried to make pottery, she squeezed it a bit too hard and it got a bit deformed. A fang that fell out when I was growing. Mama always said this was my lucky tooth, so I always
so I've always kept it in my bag. The woven bag I kept my collectibles in when I was younger. It's really sturdy and can still last a really long time. Gavial's signature cut out from various places, erasure marks are visible. I want more. Doctor's badge. Doctor gave this to me. I can become smarter if I keep it with me. A stack of dream catchers to give to people who can't sleep well. Praise the Sun. A really interesting book. I'll read it a bit more tonight. Praise the Sun. Adventure package. Has all sorts of neat stuff inside it. Very useful for when adventuring. Field medical kit. Still learning how to use it. After that, I'll be able to help Gavel whenever she needs it. A black, erasure marks, rock, erasure marks, heavy erasure marks, Gavial's, more erasure marks. Ellipses. The following is omitted. What is this thing? I'm actually terrified to know what this last thing is. But anyway, let us move on to her voice files. Her voice files will be in Japanese, considering she only has a JP and CN Mandarin voice actor, so you'll have to pay attention to the screen to what she's saying, if you don't understand Japanese, of course. So, I will shut up and let Tamimi talk.
こういう仕事はガビルさんはやりたがりませんし、部族の他の人はそんなことを考えもしないんです。ですので、時間があるときは私がやっていました。医療部の看護師実習生が足りないようなら私がやってみましょうか。基礎看護の知識は多少なりとも心得ていますから。ドクター、サインペンのインクがなくなっちゃったみたいです。あ、待って、捨てないで。もしよければ私にいただけませんか。ロドスは床を掘ってはいけないんですか。地下に財宝は埋まってたりしないんでしょうか。貴重品は全て部屋の中で厳重に保管されている。残念です。尻尾がまた伸びちゃいました。このまま伸びていったら本当に皆さんに嫌われちゃいそうです。どうしよう。尻尾の大きさは生まれつき、強さもかっこよさも生まれつき、頭の良さも生まれつき。生まれを選べないなら自分の個性と共に生きていくしかないでしょう。もちろんドクターがたまに手を貸してくれたら一番ですが。カビルさんが仕事をサボるのはわかりますが、食事に来ないなんてありえません。何か困ったことになってどこかに隠れているのでしょうか。他の人たちは気づいていないようなので助けてあげられるのは私だけです。あ、ドクターもいらっしゃったんですね。手を貸していただけますか。本当に見たいんですか。カバンの中は物だらけですよ。わかりました。自分でもしばらく整理してませんし、じゃあ見てみましょうか。葉っぱに包まれた琥珀と、血のついた黒い結晶にサイの束。ドクター、もうこれ以上見ないでください。ここまで。それは人の目を引き、灼熱の炎で目が干からびようともまぶたを閉じる気にはならないだろう。ガビルさんはきっとそんな風に輝く人なんだと思います。あ、今のは本で読んだ言葉です。いいなと思って覚えたんですが、ぴったりだと思いませんか。ドリームキャッチャーはここにかけておきましょう。清らかで気持ちのいい夢が見られますように。こんにちは、ドクター。邪魔しに来たわけではありませんよ。私は勉強に勉強に来ました。ガビルさんはもうこちらに来ていますから、私も一人で故郷に残るわけにはいかないでしょう。 やっぱり戦場で実践してみた方がいいですよね。こんなに綺麗なバッジをくださってありがとうございます、ドクター。これ昇進のメダル？本当に私にこれを受け取る資格はあるんですか？いつかこの旗に恥じないようになってみせます。いつかきっとドクターの技を勉強させてください。本当に身につけばいいんですが、私に任せる？本気ですか？行くぞ、奴らをぶちのめすぞ。待ってください、まだ準備ができていません。ドクターは私に気づいていない。やってみますか？行くぞ。殴られたいやつは前に出ろ。しっかりして。もう少し頑張ろう。あとはドイツだ。前にドクターはこうやって私を殴りつけたんですよ。勝ちましたね。背中が疲れました。休憩しましょう。私ごめんなさい。それはまだ捨てないで。私にください。片付けますから。尻尾？サルゴン式のバーベキューを味わってみませんか？私が焼きますから、ドクターは食べるだけでいいですよ。アークナイツ。ドクター。
Alright, scratch that comment I made earlier about that black scratched out rock. She does say it. I forgot that she says it in the voice lines. Anyway, that will be it for this. So let's go over to the closing thoughts on the story. Alright, closing thoughts section. Oh boy, let's rattle this off very quickly then, so I don't ramble on too long. But yeah, what else to say about the story then? This is still fun to this day. This is just one of those stories where you just turn off your brain and enjoy, because unlike most of the stories in this game that have, you know, either complicated plots, stuff happening in the background, you have to pay attention to 50 billion things at once, this one is one of those, okay, I just want to enjoy myself and have a fun time. Done. There you go. That is what this one is. It is a mushroom trip. Kobe knew what she was doing there. But anyway, this was, even today, rereading this after like what, two and a half years? How long ago was this? Jeez. But yeah, fun to go through this again, and like I pointed out in certain segments at the end, some stuff is very interesting to look back upon now. At least the insinuation about some stuff after you're done with Lone Trail. Very interesting. Also, one of the other parts that was pointed out in the comment section, I think on the previous episode, that was Mando, if you're watching, thank you for pointing that one out, is the Silver Ash thing that gets mentioned by Dylan in that one passing comment. For those of you who do not know, essentially the story for Arknights, like the main story for Arknights, begins at the very end of the year 1096, like the literal kind of like last week of the year. It finishes, Act 1 finishes at the end of the first week of the year, literally after 1097. So it's literally a 2-week period. After that is like until we begin with episode 10, where we continue on with our actual Rhode Island personnel, with the main story, not counting episode 9, which is sorta its own kind of mini thing, but still an introductory piece. But anyway, Act 2 with episode 10 is like a year and some crunched months later, in the year 1098 essentially, while a bunch of side stories are happening obviously in that span of time. Like the entire, essentially the current entirety of the Neural storyline is taking place in that time frame. Break the Ice is taking place towards the very end of the year 1097, so after Act 1, which is the story
that introduced us to the Silver Ash family. So this story, this is the one that introduces us to, you know, Silver Ash, Gnosis, Kiera, Degenbrecher, and so on and so forth. But it is the story where we learn when we first actually make contact with someone like Silver Ash. Silver Ash was part of the game since the very beginning, but he wasn't an operator up until after this story. That is where he starts accepting like contract work from Rhodes Island and is actually working together with Rhodes Island on several things. But up until the end of the year 1097, he wasn't. We did have several other people from Kierag who were either patients or being just escorts for a patient on board of Rhodes Island. More about that in the Break the Ice story. But yeah, Silver Ash wasn't working together technically. So that passing comment from Dylan, unless I'm completely false here, and that was not meant as a transport thing of him as an operator somewhere, but him as a just person, and he asked because his sister was essentially being taken care of by Rhodes Island for her medical needs. But if it's meant as him as an operator, then this kind of sets the story in a certain place, potentially somewhere during the year of 1098, I would say, post Act 2 even, which is weird because this is a very old story, and might make actually sense, but food for thought, I would say. Once again, thank you, Manda, for pointing that out, because that comment actually reminded me to go over that little aspect here in the ending. But yeah, very interesting food for thought. The other aspect, High Priest, obviously was one of those, like I said earlier in the recap at the beginning of this episode, was one of those like animal who can actually talk kind of people of this world that we only knew Emperor up until this point, from what I remember when this story released. So that was nice to see back then. And now that we've passed through a very massive world-building bombshell, aka Lone Trail, again, go through that story, you're gonna find out so many things. But do keep in mind that that story does entail several spoilers for the main story, but more on that in that so I don't elaborate too much. But yeah, after Lone Trail, certain elements like the High Priest saying certain stuff and here and there, that puts stuff into a different perspective entirely now. There is context to be had now. But yeah, very interesting, very nice to see all of the zany adventures of this group. Sadly, man, if it ever happens, it would be nice to replay through that, because considering back when it released, and I'm talking about Fungi Mist, essentially IS-1, Integrated Strategies 1, was released with this, but it never became a permanent mode, sadly. Who knows, maybe a miracle can happen one day and they reintroduce it into the game. But if it does happen, I'm gonna stream it, as I do the other IS stuff. Anyway, that is beside the point. Sad that it never made a comeback. Would be nice to go through that as well. Essentially see the mushroom-driven adventures of Keobi through the jungle. But yeah, anyway, several things were also here shown in the story, and never will see the light of day apparently, like the very, very elaborately designed Gavial in her swimsuit, which I'm still baffled that never became a skin, you know, Hypergriff. The skins like that print you money, but who am I to say anything? But yeah, anyway, seeing the character interact, being introduced to a portion of the world that is one of the rare places where oripathy, while it is present, is not a place that people, discriminate other people for having it. As we've seen in this story, they literally don't care about it. They do take care of their people who get the disease,
but as it was in Gavial's case, it can be interpreted like ostracization, essentially. Them being like shunned, essentially, in a sense, from the rest of them, which can obviously have negative side effects to a person's psyche, but they don't really show any hate or discrimination or anything like what the rest of the world does, and that is pretty rare. As people like always to point out, oh yeah, but in this part of the world, yeah, no. Oh, every single other part of the world outside of what we see here, and what we later learn as well in the Ideal City. The Ideal City story, which introduces us to the Durin people and shows us how they handle oripathy, and they handle it from a point of view as in the general population essentially has general knowledge about how it works, so they don't also, you know, discriminate against people who have it, because they know how it works and how it spreads, essentially, what to do with it. So it's again a completely different kind of mindset, which puts the rest of the world kind of on the back seat. They're backwards compared to how they handle it here in the jungle and how they handle it down below in the cities of the Durin. And there are probably other different places outside of those where oripathy is being handled in a much more better way, and by that I mean where the general population of the place also actually knows how to, you know, talk and interact with a person who is infected and not immediately pulls the gun on them. But anyway, it was nice to see the jungle, was nice to see the adventure. Had a couple of relaughs, essentially, once going through the story in prep for the narration as well. The scenes with Lancet, especially towards the end with Lancet and the Doctor just hamming it up. Oh, and the moments before that, again, with Dylan and Lancet having that little conversation. Lancet is a treasure. All of the robots are a treasure. They all have so much personality to them. My God. But yeah, very funny, very good. Good stuff. Good reminder of these olden times, essentially, of this game. But anyway, I don't have much else to say, considering not much else was shown here outside of showing how Gavial handles herself, how she sees herself, and how she handles others. Obviously, most people, like it's being pointed out, have that misconception about Gavial, that she is very brutish, but she is very caring for everybody around her. Tomimi is a type of adorable danger. Just don't hurt Gavial. If someone hurts Gavial, I think Tamimi will end the world. And Zumama is just a mecha nerd. And as a mecha nerd myself, I can appreciate that. Armored Core 6 was one of my favorite games of this year. Very, very much so. Cannot wait for more. Please, FromSoft. But yeah, anyway. Those thoughts aside, not much else to say outside of that. Flint doesn't really get much screen time here. She does have an operator record, essentially for most of the characters, and I'm gonna leave links in the description of the video for them if I don't forget. But you can find them very easily on the channel. I think most of the characters have operator records. Tomimi has one, Zumama I think has one if I remember correctly, aka eunectes. Flint has one, and several others. I will put them all in the description of the video. You can find them below the playlists of this side story and the Ideal City one. So if you want to go through them and remind and see what those are about, you can do so very easily. As a reminder, they are not voice acted. You will have to read them yourself, but they're there if you just want to go through them and see more about these characters. But anyway, not to ramble on for too long. Like I said, this was fun. Hope you guys had fun as well. This was quite the trip, and I wasn't even on mushrooms. So thank you very much for listening, watching, liking, commenting, and all of that stuff. And speaking of, if you like this video, obviously leave a like and maybe a comment on it as well to help it in the algorithm. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. There are other options as well to support me more directly, like the membership on the channel, which, again, no videos will ever be behind a membership wall. It's pretty much just there to support the channel. There are super stuff for YouTube as well enabled. Do whatever you like and however you want to support me and my work. All I can say is thank you very much. Always humbled to see pretty much anything from you guys. So let's continue with whatever comes next. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye bye.